with Lacucci River Electric Cooperative. Member-owned, community-focused.
Hello and welcome to the Turkey Man Show. I'm Kevin Vaughn, or better known here at WREC as the Turkey Man. I'm a long-time with Lacucci lineman. Today I'm sitting down and speaking with Bill Bear, WREC's Job Training and Safety Director, and Joe Burdin, our Energy Delivery and System Reliability Manager, to discuss how our members can be prepared and safe this hurricane season. Welcome to the Turkey Man Show, Bill and Joe.
Thank you, Turkey Man. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, appreciate the invite.
So thank you, Bill and Joe, for being here today. Can you tell me what you do here at the co-op, Bill?
Yes, sir. So I'm the Job Training and Safety Director as well as Fleet Director. We do tons of training with pre-apprentices, our apprenticeship program, to guys in the substation. We conduct all their trainings, set up all their education. Safety side of things, we're constantly out trying to do better and make sure that everybody is aware and prepared. Go out to schools and do safety programs with the kids.
Right. With
the little Power Town house that we've got. Right. It sets up and we can show the kids what electricity does and how they need to be aware of it. And the fleet side of things, it's constant. Got to keep those trucks running for storms and ready to roll at a moment's notice.
Ready to roll.
So it's overall very busy, trying to keep everybody safe and everybody trained up and knowledgeable in what they're doing.
Joe?
Well, my name's Joe Burdin, and I've been with the co-op coming up on 38 years. I wear many hats. Sometimes I tease them. I said, hey, y'all must have run out of options when you picked me for this position. But I am over the substation department. I'm also over our generator, which is the large ones that support hospitals, schools, large businesses. Also run the GenRAC program. Now I'm using the term loosely. I have very good men that work in my department that facilitate and support me very vastly, I should say. But I'm also over the meter department where we use three-phase metering. CTs, PTs like large accounts, hypothetically like a Walmart or your Burger King, McDonald's, stuff like that. I'm over SCADA department, which comes in and they'll put the communication between generators, our substations and stuff between the control center. What else? I got the transformer department, the shop where we change out the three-phase transformers. We repair single-phase, three-phase. We do all that. We bring in the three-phase breakers that coordinate and keep our system on. Like some people see blinking lights sometimes. That's a breaker going through an operation to clear an outage or clear a fault on the line so that we don't have an outage. But my men in that department, they run maintenance on that and repair them as they need.
Some big responsibilities.
Yeah. It's good. It's very interesting. It keeps me on my toes.
We're going to get right into it this morning, and so we're talking about our preparedness for hurricane season and the safety involved around that. But what are some of the most important steps co-op members should take before there is a threat of the hurricane?
Well, Turkey Man, I think the first thing you need is a plan, well-devised plan, knowing your evacuation routes and what zone you're in.
Right.
Building yourself an emergency kit. That way you're prepared for what's to come if something does drastically happen. And always make sure you got at least 3 days of water. 1 gallon per person is required. Non-perishable food.
Right. Joe?
Well, don't forget your pets. Your little four-legged friends.
That's true. Well, most people are not going to forget their pets.
That's right.
Sure.
That's right. But sometimes, in the threat of stuff, everybody panics and forgets.
Right. And medication.
Right.
A lot of people need their medication. That's something that you may need to go and do prior ahead of time with with your doctor or the pharmacy. Things to think about.
Make sure you got a supply because it'd be kind of hard to swim back to get it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, securing your home is a big thing, too. Trimming the trees around your house, protecting your home. I always do a walk around outside my home and inside my home and take video for insurance purposes. It's something that I think most people need to do to, help them out when that time does occur, damage.
Absolutely, especially if you're, on the coast where we have a lot of consumers on the coast, and we've seen the effects of the high water and the winds and what it can do. And unfortunately, in some cases, the video may be all that you have left.
right.
So, very important aspect of being prepared for a hurricane.
Make sure your vehicles are prepared as well. You know, fueled up,
Right. Well,
air pressure,
we
your
definitely
tires,
see that
you
with
know.
the panic at the fuel stations a lot
Yes,
of times.
move
but,
on the high ground.
right.
Absolutely.
A little bit of preparedness goes a long ways, and you don't have to pack to leave for a month. Just to, either go inland or up the country a little ways, or neighbors or family, or being ready for that.
To add what Bill said earlier, make sure that you have all your important paperwork for your house, copies of your insurance, wills, stuff that's really important. That's not replaceable very easy.
That's true. Yes.
Yep.
And taking cash out, because you might not be able to use your credit cards and whatnot.
Well, I guess that would go along with what are some of the common mistakes people make when preparing for a storm. I know if you don't have cash, cash is king in a storm.
Yes,
That's right.
it is.
Power's out. ATM does not work.
ATMs don't work. You can't
Yep.
get to the banks. There may be traffic situations that, I'm telling you, it just depends on it, especially if you're at ground zero.
Yes.
Absolutely. We've all been there.
Yeah.
I think part of the problem is a lot of people say, it's not going to hit us, it's not going to hit us, but waiting too long to prepare, and
Definitely
only so
a
much
mistake,
time.
right?
Yep.
And I've heard a lot of people say, well, the Home Depot's just trying to sell 2x4s or plywood. And, but the thing is being prepared and not waiting to the last minute. If the storm turns at the last minute, then that's a good thing.
Yes,
That's
it
right.
is.
I
But
mean,
at least you were ready,
right,
just in case.
Right.
It won't go to waste.
Nope.
Exactly.
The water won't go bad, and the batteries, you can use them for something else.
That's right.
And I
toy.
think a lot of other mistakes that are made is relying on technology too much.
True.
Cell towers go down during these events. If your phone's not charged, how are you going to make a call? People depend too much on that cell phone in their hand these days
True.
for information. Make sure you got a battery-operated radio.
Right.
Get your information, know where you're at.
Take the time to learn how to read a real map.
Yeah.
That's,
All good tips. I mean,
That's right.
We definitely do rely on technology.
Yes, we do.
Is it safe to use a generator? We're talking about being prepared. Generator's definitely part of being prepared.
Yes,
Is it safe to use a generator during a power outage? And what precautions should people take with a generator?
Well, Joe, I'm going to let you handle this one, seeing now you're over the generator crew.
Yeah, I got the large generators. We also offer our members the Generac to give them temporary power when the power's out in normal day-to-day, or if a hurricane comes. Now, take in mind, if, like Kevin said earlier, our turkey man, if you're at ground zero, there's a chance your generator may be gone. So, and hopefully you will be evacuated from the area so you won't have to worry about it. But if we fall back on a portable generator, make sure you use it, and it's not the one that we offer. Make sure you use it in a well-ventilated area. Do not bring it in the house.
Right.
Don't hook into the main circuit to your house, or it could possibly backfeed onto the co-op lines and hurt somebody downstream. Make sure you use only the plugs that are in the portable generator, and don't overload it. I see people sometimes will have a drop cord with a power strip, and you can't believe the things we've seen plugged into one little generator. It's an impressive little machine the way it keeps toting the load. So, Bill, being our safety man?
Yeah, the biggest concern we see with them is the backfeed, people installing them improperly onto the system, and it backfeeds onto us, which is a huge safety concern for our linemen out there trying to restore power. And the carbon monoxide, making sure it's at least 20 foot away from doorways, windows, and keeping it outside, away from your home.
Well, I know from a lineman's perspective, that's one of the reasons we go through and pull meters, because we don't know who may have the generators, and we're going to isolate those meters and protect ourselves and the public and the linemen that's out there. That is part of safety, and part of the storm preparedness is how to run a generator, how to operate it, how to set it up to where it's safe for the linemen, safe for your own home. That's a big
Well, you know how our number one
part of being
priority,
prepared.
because you don't want Bill on you, but safety.
Right.
We put it to such high guard that we actually pull the meters on the generators that we pay to have installed for our members, the GenRAC program.
Right.
You never test a piece of, or trust a piece of equipment. Something can always go wrong, and it could possibly feed back on the line. Hopefully it won't do that because we use good quality, material and stuff and equipment. But
Right.
say in safety, what Turkey Man's talking about, we pull the meters on our own generators. So if you see somebody out there working at night and you have a generator, even though it's not running, and we pull the meter on your house, just know it's part of that infrastructure on the one we're trying to repair. So
Isolate and ground.
Yep.
That's
Right.
what our linemen are taught.
Yeah, just make yourself, familiar with. I see it every year. There'll be people lined up buying generators still in the box
Yes.
and never used them. Get yourself, figure out how to run it and
Yeah, properly run it.
properly run it right
yeah.
and do that, and it'll help.
they're a
It'll
fine
help
piece of
during the
equipment.
times that you actually need it. You
Yep.
know.
Correct.
So, but what should members do if they see a down power line in a storm? We're talking about being safe. Now that's, even us linemen, we watch for that. So
Always.
right.
Yep.
as the members out there, what should they do during a storm situation? If lines are down, it may be across your house, the cars.
Well,
you don't know.
The best bet, Turkey Man, is notifying 911 immediately, securing that scene, keeping others away, keeping yourself away. There's hazards everywhere out there that we can't be everywhere at once, but you call 911 and they make us aware, and you also call the co-op, we're going to get a crew over there to secure the scene. And the key is awareness, making sure your situational awareness is there and that you know where your power lines run. Take a look outside before a storm and see where everything's running, and come back out after the storm and look in those same spots, see if it's still there.
Well, I've seen it year after year. We'll have a storm come through, and the first thing people want to do is get out and drive and look the morning after.
Yep.
And that's okay, I understand, but there are hazards there that weren't there the day before.
Correct.
That's right. Be careful.
I've seen it down south. Every roof is in the street.
Mm-hmm.
There's hundreds of roofing nails.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about filling your tires with roofing nails in a lot of cases. There's wire down everywhere.
Everywhere.
All three of us have been to places that look like a
so
war zone.
The hazards are there, and we want the public to be aware. I've seen it that people will be dragging wires out of the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Please do not.
Let us
And-
come in and secure the area and get
Well,
the
to add
roads
to what
clear,
Bill said,
and,
He's talking about lines down. You can't discern by just looking at if it's a power line,
Right.
a cable TV, or a phone line. The best rule of thumb is what he said earlier: don't touch them.
right.
Call someone. Do not.
Right. Don't do that.
Just
And-
because it's not sparking doesn't mean it's not dangerous.
That's right.
No,
You can't see
right.
it.
It can look innocent, but it's not.
We
It's
could
not,
tell
yeah.
you war stories here for an hour on people that we've pulled up on, and I know Kevin off of Mundan Hill Road had a gentleman that did not realize he turned white when Turkey Man told him, goes, "Hey, do you realize how hot that wire is right there? You're within 15 inches
Yeah,
of
it's.
dying."
So right. So
they're dangerous.
it's-
Yes.
That's what we're trying to do, is make the public aware and our consumers aware of the dangers and to help get prepared
Absolutely.
for storms. And there are going to be things that are going to be out there after a storm that's not a normal day situation.
Correct.
So,
Yeah, and
that's
that's the thing. You're not in a normal situation after a storm rolls through. It's going to take time to get our crews assigned to these different areas, but I want everybody to know that their safety is paramount in what we're trying to accomplish here.
well, can you walk us through what the co-op does to prepare for a hurricane? We have to get prepared.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
We're tracking the storm constantly,
Right.
seeing what that track's going to be, and the next thing, dependent upon that track, is getting mutual aid here if we're going to need it.
Right.
Lining up contractors to come in.
Right.
Getting hotel rooms for these gentlemen to sleep in. Getting our food prepared ourselves. Staging areas for equipment and for material. A lot of this pre-planning takes place, and we've got contracts in place now.
It's a massive undertaking, too. It's all hands on deck from the ladies that might be cooking or whatever. I mean, the linemen have to get ready, the safety protocols, everything, every office, every part of our company is all hands on deck.
Well, you remember the last hurricanes we just experienced last year. That was a vast learning curve for the co-op because it's the first time we ever brought outside contractors on our system. We've always been the co-op that nailed it, got it on ourselves.
Right.
You know, in our safety record, I'm really proud of that.
Yep.
But like Bill said, the magnitude of people and the planning and contracts and food, hotel rooms, that was a logistical nightmare in its own. Yep. But I can't say. I think we got a really good grip on it. So if a hurricane comes in the future, and it's a large one, I think we'll be able to handle it even more efficient than we did the last time.
There's always that unseen, and I mean, as much as you are prepared, there's always things that come up, and whether it's our co-op or our consumers out there, so the better that we can plan and prepare, the better it's going to be when an event takes place.
Absolutely. And last year, for instance, getting back to back like that with Helene and Milton, that's
it was rough.
I don't want to see it again.
None of us do.
No.
Yeah,
it was exhausting.
I aged.
I know from a lineman's perspective, we start getting trucks ready. The linemen get their trucks ready. We start fueling up. We start getting chainsaws ready, extra chains. I mean, raincoats. I mean, everything you can think of, down to just paper towels to wipe your face with. I mean, little things that you might not even think of. Yeah. We start getting ready
on the back end of that.
We know there's a storm coming, and we keep our trucks up all the time, anyways. But
it's a vital part of the operation.
Little extra pep in your step when you know there's a hurricane coming, and you're trying to get ready.
On the back end of that, you got to make sure you can secure vast amounts of fuel.
Yes.
Right.
People don't know how much fuel we go through with our large generators supporting the hospitals, the schools. They're
absolutely
they're shelters. We keep those running, and people don't realize they may drink 100 to 150 gallons an hour running, and that's a lot of fuel consumption. Right. So us acquiring a vast amount of fuel and keeping it coming in to keep our trucks running, that's just to wrap your head around one little piece. And like Bill knows, he's over our mobile maintenance, and it's a full-time job for fleet. Yeah,
right. And we understand, everybody wants their power back on when that event takes place. And so how do the crews prioritize which areas to restore power to the first after a storm? There's going to be areas that we obviously have to restore first.
We concentrate on hospitals first. Right. Then you want your government facilities, your law enforcement help, and also they kind of run. Everything kind of runs together. We like to keep our schools on that are shelters.
Right.
That's a big deal.
Well, and it's all dependent upon the storm too, and what we've lost. If we've lost transmission, that changes the aspect of how we go about restoring power on substations.
I mean, we're fed by transmission.
Correct.
So if we don't have transmission feed, we can't.
And no two storms
can't
are the
energize
same.
our consumers until power has been restored on the transmission lines.
Correct. So it changes the dynamic of how you go about that restoration. And, there's steps that we always have to take to keep the public safe, our linemen safe, and it's verifying all that line is
and we
ready to be energized.
We appreciate the consumers that understand and are patient, because it's a lot going on. I know I've said it before. Our linemen are leaving their families, possibly no power at their own homes, and working 16, 18, 20 hours, 16-hour days to restore power, and going home to a hot house. I've done it myself.
Oh, we all have.
And,
yes, sir.
So, I mean, all of us have been on the line sitting here today, and we know what it's like.
That
and
struggle's
we're
real.
working as hard as we can.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of aspects into that. There's a lot of planning that goes into some of the restoration, and And, you know, we're not just going out there just flinging the doors open and running through
wide open.
down the line. You know, there's a lot of planning that goes into the restoration, and we appreciate the patience of our consumers, and we, believe me, we have prepared the best we can, and we're working on it as fast as we can. So,
and
in a safe manner.
Yes, and that's right. The key to this, and we don't want people to be unsafe themselves, and we definitely don't want our linemen being unsafe. Right. So we're going to have to take the time and verify everything before those lines come hot.
And that's another good question. You know, what safety challenges do line workers face during storm recovery, and you're alluding to that now.
Yeah, they're everywhere. There's safety concerns everywhere after a storm such as that. You've got backfeeding from generators because they're hooked up improperly. You've got tree limbs hanging in certain areas that could fall on you. You got broken poles everywhere. You got down line everywhere. Right. You've got a mess on your hands.
And not
times
just
out
that.
of 10.
The challenges of the terrain.
Yep. Keeping your trucks from getting
snakes.
stuck.
There's
ants.
Ants.
The biggest
I've
thing,
seen our linemen get covered up by fire ants.
We've all had it.
Floating
the
on top of the water,
psychological.
and we're in there trying to wade and climb and just to get to poles.
Well, you start dealing with the psychological aspect of working, possibly 2 weeks on 4 and 5 hours of sleep. It's gotten better in the years, but
it has. Yeah,
I remember seeing the sun come up for several days in a row, and you just start glazing over.
I was part of that.
Yeah, Kevin, you are a turkey man. I got to call you on it. But it's something we've all had to deal with. Bill, we came up when there was no sleep time, and we'd see the sun come up, and the rule of thumb was get the consumer back then. Now we refer to them as members. Our members back on. But those were rough days. I'm glad they're
and that's actually
gone.
a challenge within itself is
fatigue.
And then that being able just to say, hey, we're not going to get it all in one day. If it's a massive storm, we're going to have to shut down and do this thing again tomorrow, and that's important. That's one of the challenges is being able to get that rest and be able to go at it again. And I know for myself, I don't know what it is. It seems like every storm that I've been on or been sent to, there's some kind of adrenaline that just hits a lineman.
That's right.
And you don't feel it for that week or two, but after
it
it's
comes,
over, you crash. I'm telling you, you are wore out.
Because we want to get people their lights back on, and help them so they can get back to normal.
And it's rewarding at the end of the day to see those members light up, and you're like, thank you so much. They come up to you, and they're trying to give you food and all this, and it's rewarding too at the same time.
All
for those
that goes
linemen.
back to being prepared and being ready and doing our part as a co-op, our part as linemen, and then our members doing their part to be prepared also.
Yes.
That helps us a lot.
Well,
yes, it does.
There's unspoken, we're sitting here talking about linemen, but this co-op is a well-oiled machine.
Right.
We have our mechanics, we got our engineers.
Well, that's what I was saying. All hands on deck. Yes.
We do it. I can't say after being here in November, it'll be 38 years with the co-op, this has been one of the finest places to work because everybody pulls their weight. I mean, this co-op does things most don't. I could sit here and go over first, like we did something. We put an IOU on last year, remember? We helped them. That was the first thing in history, and that's pretty good. But just a lot of things are first, and this co-op's really shined. I've seen it transform from a small town co-op into big co-op.
Right.
I mean, I know we'll always be a co-op, but
and
it's just, it's a good company. I've watched it grow.
And I've enjoyed going to other places, restore
Helping
power.
out. Yep.
Yeah, they're glad to see us come in.
That's meant a lot to me over the years, and although I don't want to see another hurricane, because if it doesn't come here, it's going somewhere.
Yep.
And I hate to see families and homes, displaced, families displaced and homes destroyed. But it's we're going to see it again. There'll be another storm, and we're going to need to be prepared.
Absolutely.
And
And having that plan is key.
Yeah,
And
having a good
right.
plan definitely helps. So do you guys have any personal stories or experiences that's from a past hurricane that's really stuck out to you the most?
We had Andrew, I think it was, been a minute, I think it was 92.
Yeah, I think it
And
was.
That
Yeah.
one we navigated by water towers because it was total devastation early. It was flat where we were. The homes were gone, trees were gone and stuff. And then we turned around and had storm of the century. We'd never seen anything like that in my area, and I'm an original Florida
Well, you
boy.
brought up something navigating
Yeah.
by the water towers, and some people don't realize this, but there were no road signs.
No, nothing.
No trees.
Yep.
So the landmarks that people use from day to day to navigate their normal lives are gone.
They're gone.
And you can't believe how confusing that can be.
Oh, yeah.
Back to what Bill was saying earlier about having maps and good communication and things of that nature. I seen that with Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
Yes.
In Louisiana.
Oh, yeah. That was a rough one.
I mean,
That's
we
right.
pull up. I mean, Slidell is wiped off the map. St. Tammany Parish. I mean, it was devastating.
We've seen some devastation, guys.
so-
I hate it.
So that's another aspect. Just being able to navigate and make your way around if it's that bad, And in some places we've seen it like that.
Yes,
Oh,
we
yeah.
have.
There was some pretty things you won't forget that you saw
Right.
out in Louisiana.
Well, I know
you
Joe and I were together at Hurricane Charlie.
Yeah.
And,
I
it
think
was
we
a
had like 5 of them cross
small,
us. So,
small
yeah.
tight storm,
Yeah.
but the devastation was pretty
Immense.
significant
Yep.
in that area. We've seen crazy things down
Oh,
there.
man.
Oh, yeah.
You see them in every storm.
Yes,
Bill,
you do.
I know you've.
Well, you get away
You've
from the
experienced-
crazy for a minute.
Right.
I found some good in it. And
Right.
the last storm I worked as a lineman, I think it was Idalia.
I tell you, yeah.
And working hours upon hours, you know how it goes.
Right.
And you're just I was on the side of Ayers Road, taking a limb off 3-phase there. And this little old lady comes over, pulls off the road, and she gets out of the car with 2 bags of Burger King, throws it on the back of my truck, and says thank you, and
Yeah.
just walked off.
That's all.
And I tell you what, that's the
that
biggest
means a lot.
appreciation
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
a
How
lineman
much
can
sweet
have.
tea did we
Oh, yeah.
drink
Yeah,
down
it
in
means a lot,
Okeechobee?
yeah.
It reminded me of my grandmother making sure I was taken care of.
Taken
You know
care
what I
of,
mean?
yeah.
And it meant a lot to me. And that's the goodness you see during these events.
Right.
And yeah, I know we see a lot of craziness, but there is
Well,
a lot of goodness too.
For all the people that are upset, we see a lot more that are just thankful.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
after
And,
going away to other areas, I'm not bragging. I got to say, our service area and our members, you're always going to get that guy that's mad, and
Right,
later on they calm down and realize it's not your fault. But as a rule of thumb, our members are pretty darn good people.
Oh,
They're
absolutely,
pretty
yeah.
respectful
Absolutely.
Take
to us,
care of
and
us.
they love the
Absolutely.
co-op, because they know we're out there getting the power on.
And that goes back to the goodness in
Yep.
people. I went to Hurricane Michael, which we all know that was very devastating for those folks up there in the Panhandle.
Absolutely.
And they were just so grateful to see anybody on the road working.
Right.
And you look
And
at
that-
that and
that's
makes you
been
work
my
harder.
That's been my experience in
Yes.
most
Yep.
places.
Yes.
There's been very few places that you're not thankful that, we're out there. But just be prepared, and that's what we're talking about, and be safe in these situations. And part of that
Awareness.
Oh yeah.
is preparedness before the storm even gets here.
Yep.
And for any preparedness information, visit rec.net Storm Center. Well, I want to thank you guys for being here today, and thank everyone for listening to the Turkey Man Show.
With Lacoochee River Electric Cooperative, member-owned, community-focused.